Hello everyone, welcome back to our Flipaclip tutorial series. In today's video we will create our first very simple animation, which will be a bouncing ball. Very similar to this one that I had already created for another video. We are going to recreate this and I'm going to give you a few tips while we do it step by step. I'm going to record the entire process, do not worry, it's not going to take a very long time, but there's a few things you need to know about animating. So let's create our animation. So first we can give it a name. Then as for the background, let's choose a preset one, possibly one that has already a floor on it, like this one. All right. We can choose the canvas size and the frames per second. Now we have a few different options here, as you can see. For now, I recommend using the 720p one, mostly because Flipaclip is not a very advanced tool, so it may struggle a bit with lagging if we choose a different sized canvas. Right, 12 frames per second is okay for now. We are going to change it later if we deem it necessary, and let's create our project. So, perfect. We have our background, our grid, and we can start drawing immediately. As you can see here, it's extremely easy. You can select the brush, the size, the color, the ruler, everything we've seen in the previous video, basically. So what we're going to do now is just start immediately. So I'm just going to draw our little ball sitting on the concrete, and we're going to add a frame. We can copy it and paste it onto a next frame. Alright, so now the ball is exactly in the place it was before. We can choose the lasso tool and just copy it here. And as we can see here, there's already some kind of movement, although it is missing something, doesn't it? So we can copy this frame again, paste it again, and we are going to just put this in the middle. Alright, now we have 3 movements for our ball, but if you notice, it's definitely missing something. Right now what our ball is doing is just translating through the canvas. It's not doing anything, very interesting, or actually it's not animated. Basically it's just a picture sliding across the screen. So what we're going to do is starting from scratch. I know this may sound a little inconvenient, but trust me, you are going to love what the end result is going to be. So let's erase this last frame and let's start, using a bit of animation logic. So balls are usually soft, so they tend to squash when they hit the ground. I'm going to choose a bigger brush, not this big though. All right, we have our ball being squished to the ground. It's basically about to jump, so the ball, it's like it's making an effort. It's anticipating our action in order to spring into the air, and then it will come back down. All right, we got our first frame. Then the second position we want the ball to be in, of course, it's right up in the air, in which it will reach its, highest point. And then the ball will be squished back down. We're going to add a frame, and the ball will go right back down, like this, similar to how the first one was. And as you can see here, it's already working differently. Our animation already looks more alive, and it's only 3 frames long, so basically a quarter of a second. Now we are going to add in-between frames. In-between frames basically are frames between the ones that we already have. We already drawn some key poses, and now we are going to make our animation longer and more smooth. So we are going to add another frame here in the middle, and since we've squashed it here and it's anticipating our movement, now the ball needs to, stretch in the air. So we're gonna make it a little longer, like this. Perfect. Now the ball has reached its peak position, and now it's gonna go back down. So we add another frame, and the ball will, be longer while it falls because of the gravity. And let's see our effect. And as you can see here, it's very much different. Now it looks like something very animated, very cartoony. And now we are going to keep adding in-betweens. It's just a matter of adding in-betweens now. We are going to add yet another frame and see that we are going to draw something that's in the middle of the frames that we already have, so that the transition won't be as harsh as it is now. All right, let's add another frame, so it's gonna be more gradual, and add another. Perfect. Now let's see. And as we can see here, we have a little ball. This is definitely a good animation for now. We could add more in-betweens actually, so that's exactly what we are going to do here. All right, let's see our end result. It definitely works, but it does look a bit slow, doesn't it? So what we're going to do now is change the frame rate. We can change the frame rate by going to Project Settings, and choose a different frame rate. All right, let's see how it works now. This is definitely better. All right, let's look if it actually changed. Okay, it did change, but I think we could go even higher to 24 frames per second. Now, as we can see, our little loop for our ball is done. Now we got our little ball, and the next thing we're gonna do, of course, is color it. So let's get back into the layer section as we've seen in the last video, and the next thing I would do is copy this layer. Mostly because if we didn't copy the layer and just added another one, we wouldn't have, the borders. And if we clicked on the, color bucket tool, it would just fill the whole canvas. I think this pink is quite good. It's very noticeable. And let's just fill in every frame. This is quite a tricky process, especially if you have very detailed animations. But it's not going to be our case, mostly because it's just a little ball. And as you can see here, it's quite easy for now. Now it has color. Perfect. So next thing we want to do is copy this layer again. Perfect. Select the one in between the colored layer and the line art layer, and go to the layer settings. Now what we want to do is lower the opacity a bit, which is maybe at 35%. Yeah, it could be good. Okay, and choose a blending mode. This is in beta, but we can absolutely choose the one we want. We are going to go with multiply for this. We are going to add shading to our animation. Perfect. Now that we have our little, little layers set up, we're going to select the brush, and as you can see here, it's going to be darker. Not by too much, but I'm going to just select the darker purple for this one. We are going to select a slightly bigger brush, and as you can see here, let's just draw the shading. Of course, we have to decide where the light is coming from first. Now, as I see here, the lighting is hitting this object from this side and the shadow is right here. So we are going to match that. Okay, so now let's just draw. This is going to be a bit trickier than just, coloring in the canvas with the bucket tool. But it's definitely worth it to look more professional that way. Remember that the shadow also squashes and stretches while you draw. Perfect. Let's look at the end result. Okay, now that we have our little end result for the shading onto the ball, we're going to add shading right here. But of course, we are going to do it on a new layer. This one doesn't really need to, be on top of others. Let's just layer on the bottom. And we are going to, of course, select our layer options here. Going to set the opacity to maybe 30%. And we are just going to choose multiply again. It's extremely useful in this case. Multiply for shading is the top layer mode you can choose, especially for simple animations like this one. Wait, I'm going to make it more precise this way, and then we're gonna fill it in, maybe with the dark purple that we had chosen before. Perfect. And now we do this for every frame. Of course, as the ball gets further away from the ground, the shadow is gonna be smaller. And if the ball is closer to the ground, the shadow is going to be bigger, as we can see here. Now the ball is coming back down, so I'm going to gradually make the shadow bigger. And as we can see here, our animation looks slightly more realistic now. Slightly more professional at least. Alright, let's color in this a little bit. And all that's missing is a bit of lighting on the ball. So basically we are going to add another layer. Perfect. Of course, edit the layer again, set the opacity to maybe 45%. And we are just going to set the blending mode to lighten for now. The others we are going to use in future videos. And we can also turn on the glow for this one, which could be useful actually. As we can see here, this color is a bit too dark, but if we choose a lighter pink for this, it's gonna be slightly more visible. Maybe if we set the layer opacity to 100%, it's going to be even more visible than this. So let's go back and test this feature a little bit. So this is definitely an interesting feature, but honestly I wouldn't use it on this project. So we're going to go back to the layer settings and set everything as it was before. Okay, so lighten blending mode, and let's just, do everything as we would have done normally. We are going to draw a little light spot here on each frame. Perfect. Let's look at the end result. Alright, we have created our very own first animation, and now we can also decide to export it. So, first thing we want to do is click on Make Movie right here. So we select the movie name, the output size. So you can see here we can change it. Of course, it's not gonna be very high quality if we stretch it too much, so we are going to keep it to the original size. The format, we have a few different format options. We have the GIF format, we have the PNG sequence, you name it. We can decide to add the Flipaclip watermark or not, and that's it. Here we can see the stats, 24 frames per second, 0 seconds. It's actually a little less than a second for 17 frames. And here it is, our little animation has been done, it has been exported, and now we can decide to upload it on YouTube, TikTok, or save to photos, which is what we are going to do. And this is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.